And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly whiskey, wine, and all things barrel aged podcast.
Like I said last episode, I'll get it down one of these days.
You will. So somebody reached out and said, I should record it for you, and then we should put it on a soundboard so that you could just and play it every time.
We'll get off the rails with that. But
I think it'd be fun. We could load so many crazy stuff into a soundboard. Oh my god.
Well, continuing our Crown Royal series, you happen to stumble upon a little gem. Why don't you talk about what you have there?
Well, yeah, this is interesting. So I don't think we were planning on doing like a Crown Royal vertical or a series. It was never in the cards. However, we had talked about some of the different Crown Royal offerings, and I just happened to stumble upon this little 1 pint bottle of Crown Royal XO. Little Crown Royal XO. Right. And that's the one that's finished in cognac casks. This is a blended Canadian whiskey finished in cognac casks. And then it says here 40% volume and proof. And it's just a beautiful little bottle. Usually goes for like $100 for a 750.
Yeah, so I'm showing our followers here directly from the Crown Royal website. So XO is skillfully blended Crown Royal whiskey finished in cognac, as BJ said, finished in cognac casks, resulting in both an extraordinary, complex, and smooth expression.
I like that it's got a little metal topper and it screws on and off. This is very high-end.
This is an elegant whiskey that is deliciously balanced with hints of vanilla, spice, and rich dry fruit. Tasting notes. The nose, muted and mild.
Muted and mild.
Who would ever start representing their own product with those two words?
The nose is beautifully muted and mild.
With notes of vanilla, caramel, and light oak. Palate, they're saying, is balanced with hints of vanilla, spice, and rich dried fruit.
Mm-hmm.
The finish should be medium in length with light vanilla, subtle spice, and a smooth finish.
Why do I feel like this is their Johnny Walker Blue offering of Crown Royal?
Yeah.
Like highly blended, very expensive, highly blended, built to be like the most rich tasting, unoffensive flavor ever.
I mean, I think that's kind of what they're going for, right?
I think that's what it could be.
People are saying here, I'm just reading a little bit more into it. It is it's the same blend basically of the 50 different whiskeys.
Okay.
So it's literally base Crown.
It's exactly the same.
It's base Crown, where they just changed up with the finishing in the Limousin oak cognac casks. Limousin.
Oh.
That word here, Limousin.
I'm gonna go with limousine, or it's probably French Canadian. So it's like everything is silent. The limousine.
Yeah. Limousin.
Tired.
All right. Let's get in this. What are you getting on the nose there?
Nothing. It's subtly muted.
Wow.
Actually, it kind of tastes like booze breath, or smells like booze breath. After somebody who's been drinking all night and then they talk to you, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "Oh."
I mean, if you reach, you get maybe like I was gonna say a taint of vanilla, like
a taint of vanilla. Yeah, I mean, it's so light,
but it's super delicate, beyond delicate. It worries me with this.
It's almost lacy delicate.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of floral, spice, or
a little spice on the end. Yeah. You want to cheers that up? Cheers it to you. Cheers it to you.
I swallowed after the cheers, so it still counts.
Ooh, I don't like that first sip. It's very offensive. Like oaky, like very oaky. Like ugh. The finish on that first sip is
massive oak, but again, three sip rule, friends. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Lead us through the three sippy sips.
Think about it. It's been a hell of a couple shows
because we've really gone through some shows. So take us through the sippy sips.
All right, so as well, hopefully you're all going to learn now the three sip rule that we follow. Right, so that first sip that you take in of any type of alcohol, you got to remember your body is rejecting alcohol. So when you taste it, it's kind of a shock to the senses, shock to a palate, because you're not really supposed to be intaking that. So the second taste, it's finally going to mellow out. You're really going to understand what you're getting into. That shock has subsided. And then by the third sip, you should be really ready to rock and roll and truly judge something by that third sip. So the first and second really don't count.
Three.
Because your palate's really kind of coming up to temperature. So
three.
That
second sip was much better. Still right on the, I mean, really forward in the oak spice.
Oof, it's very like sweet oak spice. That's so the only thing the cognac did.
It's so oaky.
It turned it oaky. I don't like this at all.
I'm going for my third here.
And now it's got like a bad Kentucky hug. I never thought I'd say that. It's not a pleasant. I'm getting like
at 40%, you're getting a Kentucky hug.
I'm getting like a weird acidity, like a weird alcohol.
I will tell you that there is an acidic flavor here.
Isn't it like strange? It just hit me. I don't know what
it is,
and it lingers. It like
I'm not getting any of it in my chest, and in fact, I chewed on it in my second sip, and I actually think I think the chew helped a lot. I'm going to say this. I know we get asked all the time in the chat, hey, do you think you'd smoke a cigar with this? Or
no.
What would you pair? I actually would smoke a cigar with this.
No.
Because I think it'd bring out some Robusto flavors.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess you can argue that. But I'll say this much. If I'm smoking a stogie, and if it's like peppery or like one of the like more milder ones, I kind of want a more neutral grounded bourbon, like something that's not intense. I think this is kind of like spicy intense and in a bad way. So I don't want it with a stick. I want like a Buffalo Trace or Elijah Craig.
I don't mean to like pause us, but we have sound coming in, right?
Yeah, we have sound coming in.
You sure?
What do you mean we have sound? We better. Dude, we have sound coming in. We do.
You're positive?
No, yeah, look. No, we're locked and loaded.
I'll edit that in post.
I don't know. You can edit that in post.
You can if you upload it to YouTube tonight as a private, then I can cut this.
All right,
we're gonna need to cut that.
All right.
I just noticed a button and it said it was unpushed, and I went, "Uh-oh."
Wait, because now we didn't have sound on this whole time.
Well, that's what I was afraid of, that we hadn't had sound on the entire time, and I saw this button and I went, "Uh-oh, we better check it." All right, so we're gonna get right back into it.
All right, got it. And as I was saying, the 3-sip rule, and
no, don't do that. Just don't do that.
We explained it.
We did.
You're gonna have to. So you can cut from after I explained this 3-sip rule until now. Boom.
So big oaky flavor. Big opie flavor.
It reminds me of opie when I drink it. Kind of puts you right in that saddle of opie. Not in a good way. I don't really like anything about this.
Really?
I'm really not digging this, man.
Well, I mean, that was one of the nice things about the guy who sold it to me. He was really excited about this and was like, this is like one of those opportunities to try something that is really difficult to get. It's a little more allocated.
Please, no more. That's enough.
And he goes, at least when it's in a small little bottle like this and you hate it.
What does that run you?
$30 for this.
30. Okay.
So typically a 750 is $100. This little pint guy gave me, I got it for $30.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what, for $30, it's worth getting it and bringing it on the show and really talking that up. I had to give you one more taste.
That's fair. Because
we got scoring to do, and you got some scoring.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to be pretty harsh on this.
It's not like god awful dog duty, but it's not. So what it did, here's the thing. Usually when I'm just thinking about Crown Royal. We talked about it last week.
Sweet, easy, approachable.
Yeah, easy, approachable, solid. This, all they did was finish it in cognac, and it has such a negative impact on this product.
I actually thought it was going to get really sweet. When I saw the cognac, I was like, oh, it's going to take a sweet.
I thought it was going to be like Hennessy.
And it's going to make it really
sweet. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm sure there's a market for that, whatever. But I don't know. This just made it really spicy and not welcoming. I don't like that spice. You guys know it's that oak spice.
I think that whatever they did in the blending process here and adding the cognac, there's a lot of really muddled flavor.
Muddled's a good way to put it.
It's really hard to pick out anything. Like they talk about, good notes of caramel and vanilla. No, there's a very prominent note of oak. And it's a sweet oak because
Yeah.
I think Crown Royal is just naturally sweet. So it's very sweet. It's not an offensive spice. I am starting to get that weird Kentucky hug you were talking about. It feels like heartburn.
You see what I mean? Yes.
It feels like heartburn, not like a Kentucky hug.
It's a sip of it's acidic, right?
I really think they needed to have proofed this up.
Oh,
I think that's the
maybe
problem.
That
Here. It's 40%. And
maybe
I
that's the
really
problem.
think it needed
Even
to be
45.
45, 46. I think adding a little more ethanol into this to compete with that oaky punch that comes through, I think would have really done some favors here. But keeping it low proof didn't do it any favors at all. That's just me.
I like where you're going with that. And the reason why is that I think too, when you water it down, a lot of that oakiness, it's pronounced, right? It comes through. I think you get with that proofing down and adding that water, you're just getting a little bit more of that oak, and you don't want that.
I think if you added cubes, we always get that question.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to throw a cube on that? Do you think you'd ice it?
I'd ice this.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No, because I think that just like you were talking about, we're talking about. I think if you proof it up, you're going to start to get a little bit more action. We water it down by proofing it down, and we're getting all this.
It's not going to do it any favors.
We're going to add more water to it, and it's just going to get really acrid charcoal.
Here's what I'm thinking: it would mute the cold. Would just mute.
Yeah, the cold would help.
I don't know.
Hey, we need whiskey rocks. We need to add whiskey rocks to this. And then that way it doesn't dilute the flavor, but it really chills it down. It's a really nice thing. Go get yourself a pair of whiskey.
Do not listen to him, guys. If you watched last week's episode, you knew, or the week before, right? It was the last.
It was the week before.
Where we just, you all know, do not buy whiskey rocks. I can't believe that was a thing.
Hey, you want to be a real whiskey connoisseur? Get yourself a set of whiskey rocks to just throw in your glass.
Break every Glencairn that you own and crack every beautiful crystal glass in your cabinet.
That way, even if you don't drop it in and break your glass, by the time you start really swirling stuff around in your rocks glass, you're just going to shatter and bleed everywhere.
It's so ridiculous.
All right, let's do some scores.
All right. Kick us off with nose.
This nose, I already said it. It tastes like, or it smells like booze breath. And so we both worked in the hotels for a long time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so when you get a drunk that comes up to you and they're like, hey,
they've just been drinking all day.
How's it going?
Yeah.
And you're like, ugh, I think you need some water and some Listerine. It just smells like you've been drinking cheap vodka all day.
Those big guitars or whatever they fill with. Margarita,
any of them, right? That real cheap,
the handle
grain alcohol.
Ugh.
That's what it smells like.
So you're giving that a 1?
I'm giving it a 0. I hate the nose on this.
Whoa, I'm giving it a 1.
I'm giving it a 0. No points for nose. This is a terrible nose. In fact, it's off-putting. It smells like vomit. So I don't like this. Delicate, sure. I mean, if you really reach, we talked at the beginning, we reached in for some stuff, but like, it's really prominent. 0 points.
Okay.
For the nose.
Okay.
For the flavor, I'm giving it a 1.
1 on taste.
I'm giving it a 1 on taste. It's not anything special in the palate. And maybe I just really hyped myself up on this and I let myself fall into the hype hole. Right, where you hype yourself up and then you just fall really hard, right? If I had no expectations, I might have really liked it. But I really think that there's not a lot to offer here. I don't think that the cognac cask finishing did anything for this. I'd rather drink regular Crown. It's a beautiful bottle. I'm glad I didn't pay what I would normally have paid to obtain a Crown Royal XO. This is garbage. This is an 11 out of 100, or I'm a 1.1 out of 10 on our old scale. Don't think it's a value. I don't think $30 for a pint is a value. I think it's a good flex. I think it's a cool flex to have on the bar.
Is it?
I do.
I think really
because of the size. I think the size is a cool flex.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
All right.
And then because it is a Crown XO, I think it's a good conversation starter. I think it is a flex on the bar, not one I'd recommend that you have to go have. If you found one, it'd be very cool as a novelty.
Hey, aren't they?
But 11, 1.1.
Using the XO incorrectly on that bottle.
I'm so glad you brought this up. I was going to say something about it because XO means
extra old in the
Extra old.
Armagnac Cognac world,
which is an 8 to 10 year, right? Is what
Yeah.
it should be at the 8 to 10 year.
yeah,
We know that most of these are 4 years. It's got
Right.
some 18, right? A dropper, whoop,
yeah.
of 18 year in it. But technically, because this is just regular old Crown, this is pretty young juice, and there's nothing.
Yeah, so how can they
special
throw the XO name on it?
because it's cognac.
Wow.
Because of that cognac action. Remember, we talked about cognac. Go back and watch some cognac or Armagnac shows where we talk about where that comes from. Like, it's not just it is a blend of many different styles, right?
Yeah.
What is it that they call it?
Solera method?
Well, it is a
blend?
Solera method, but no, I mean,
I'm trying to think.
when you take all the different styles, it has a name when it's just on its own, but it's not technically an Armagnac or a cognac until you
Eau de
blend
Vie.
it all together.
Eau de
Eau de
Vie.
Vie, yeah. So you got all the different eau de vies until you actually get the blend. Then it is a
Right.
cognac or an Armagnac. We're
Yeah.
getting lost. If you are interested in this, that's actually a really cool show.
The Armagnac show's great.
We talk a lot about that. Go back
informative
and we'll just put it in the comments. So just click on it, go watch it in the comments. It's too hard to give you a button to push. We'd rather you just click it from the comments. So yeah, that scores is that's it.
show.
What
All
do you
right.
got?
So I'm actually going to give it a higher score than you. I'm surprised.
Nope,
So
I'm
I'm
not.
going to give it a 15. So you gave it an 11. You gave it an 11.
You really talked up that high score for just a second.
So you gave it an 11 out of
Yeah,
100,
I
and I
did.
give it a 15.
Why?
out of
Where's
100.
that 15 come from?
I think for the value,
Uh-huh.
it's a $30 bottle of
$30 mini.
different something, right? Like it's
Okay.
accessible. I think that
Okay.
accessibility of, hey, they make a fancy small bottle,
Uh-huh.
that makes it affordable to some people, because
Okay.
I wouldn't go out and buy a full bottle XO.
Hell
I think for
no.
the $30 price range, I would be with you and experiment on this.
Yeah, it was worth the buy, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was worth the
it's-
buy, worth the
it-
try.
yeah.
Little guy, worth the try.
I mean, still mix it with Mountain Dew if you need to really take it down.
delicious.
But anyway,
How about a Mountain Dew, a hard Mountain Dew?
I can make that happen, sir. But it's actually they're under the room temp, so you don't want to do that right now.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely need to do it. That's like getting iced. Room temp Mountain Dew
Yuck.
hard with a little XO floater on
Yuck.
top.
All right. Anyway, that's 15 out of 100 for me. You gave it a whopping 11. And what's next in the series? What do you think we'll be doing next week?
Next week we had talked about doing. Well, I thought we were going to do JP Weiser's.
All right, something Canadian. We'll just
So
leave
we're
it
going to
at
do one
that.
more
Yeah.
Canadian, and then we've got. I think we've got a something else coming up. We don't want to give away too much,
Don't give
but we are
away
because we're
anything.
working on it still. So we don't want to tell you like we're doing something and then not do it.
Doing it. Yeah, we don't want to
Do
give
it.
that away.
Anything fun going on in Vegas? Any reason for people to come out here?
I don't know, man. It's just gonna start getting real hot. As you know, we're moving to summer.
Yeah.
And that those 90s turn to hundreds, and then it's like
Real
it's
fast.
miserable here in Vegas. But hey, we're way overdue. I think we've had a pretty mild spring and winter, so we're due for the heat for a couple months. So
I got one for you.
yeah, what do you got?
So you might have noticed we're not live tonight.
Oh, we are not live tonight. This is a
For those of you
pre-recorded.
that are used
broadcast.
to chatting with us live,
No chats.
no chats tonight,
No
but we
chats.
encourage you to continue to chat with each other. Leave
Leave a comment.
comments. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and ring the
All
bell
that good
and
stuff.
follow us at the Barrel Buds on Instagram.
I am kind of sad about how disappointed I was with this, and you seemed, I think, a little excited.
I was very excited
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, and that's
I was super
man.
pumped for this, and yeah, I'm a little
Can I get one more
disappointed.
splash just to end and know that like this is the end?
The end, my friend. Just a splash. You want a heavy splash?
A little bit more, a little bit. Hey, that's perfect. That's, half in the glass, half outside is fine.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
All right, let's see. So
Well, final thoughts. Your final.
sweet oak, God, but not
It's
in a
just
good
so
way.
yeah, it's so oaky.
And then it gets dry, and then you kind of get like a dryness at the
You
tail
got
end
the
there.
Biff Tannen dry mouth.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
It's gonna go on
leave-
the. It's gonna go on the bottom shelf back here because again, I think it is a flex.
No, you're taking that one with you.
Hell no, I'm
It's
not.
not staying here.
No. No.
It's going in the Globe.
No, it's too nice to go in the Globe.
You want to put it at the bottom shelf, now right next to my two bottom shelf favorites.
See right
the
there.
Balmora and the Mellocorn
Yeah,
and the Good Times. Yeah, it'll go right with them down there.
I still argue Old Tub is better than bottom shelf. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Bottom shelf. That's my bottom shelf.
Enough.
Right next to that. Also, look at that. We got the Uncle Nearest down there. And then what's but the Bonded? And what's behind your arm?
Everything Bonded should go on the bottom shelf.
Oh, that Wild Turkey 81. God, yuck. All well-deserved spots on the bottom floor. And if you want to argue that,
you got a lot of Buffalo Trace down there on that bottom.
That's shelf. There for storage. That doesn't deserve a spot on the bottom. But hey, if you want to argue with our picks, please throw it in the comments on why you think some of those don't belong there. And I'm sure the first one, Mellocorn Army, is going to run in defense of that bottom shelf pick because it's just wretched.
Nope. I don't think you're going to get anybody who argues that except for me. Okay, I think it deserves to be better.
For the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.